Welcome back to this space where we explore stories of courage and kindness. I am Kanza Azimi, and today I am joined by Abbie Kadom, founder of an initiative called Hope Amel, a support group that has helped more than 30,000 families in the last 6 years. This story is about compassion and about not being able to look beyond the suffering of another person. In this conversation, we explore the human story behind Hope Amal, the moments that shaped it, the challenges that Abby faced, the faith that guided her, and the stories that keep her going. This is a conversation about personal transformation, service, resilience, and the power of small acts to ripple far beyond one can imagine. Let's dive in. Thank you so much, Abby, for being a part of this conversation. And I know that it all started somewhere. So I'd love for you to start with where did this start?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Kenza. I get asked that question so much, and especially like probably this last year of like, how did this start? I can't remember like the exact moment, but I guess for me, like the pinpoint would be like the day I decided to create a Facebook page, right? It was COVID time. As very similar kind of feeling to the times that we're in currently. People were losing jobs and salaries were being cut or salaries were not being paid. And just people, there was just a sense of sort of kind of a loss within the community. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm a single mom. I'm okay. I'm in my home. My kid is okay. Yes, I've gotten a salary, reduction myself, but I have everything that I could ever need. I'm like, you know what? The only way to like this gratitude that I have is like I need to like what do I do with this? So let me share what I have with the people who may need it. And I've always been that person when someone needs help. They'd be like, Abby, there's a family, there's a person, there's a girl, there's a guy, there's this, there's that. And I've always been sort of somebody that can like organize the help, whatever that help may be needed. So it started off slow by people being like, this family needs groceries, this family needs diapers. And then it just kind of started growing. And then one day I just had this brilliant idea. I don't know how brilliant it is now when I think about it, but I was like, you know what? Let me create a Facebook page. And then if anybody needs help, they can go on the Facebook page and they can ask for help. Like I honestly thought like four people would go on the page. Like I really, it's actually going to be 6 years in July, which is crazy, right? Like I never thought it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But like at that time, like I thought this is gonna be like a couple of months max, just till the end of COVID. Little did we know that COVID would be more than 2 years. And and then it just grew. And I don't know, like, I just can't even, it's such a funny question because I can't remember what life was without hope.
Wow.
When someone asks me, like, when did it start? It's like, I feel like it was always there. I think because it was always there. The spirit of hope was always there, it was always in me. It was always there, helping people, being there for people, doing whatever I can, feeling for people, like, caring about people, like, hearing a sad story and being moved, not just like, oh, I'm sorry, like, you're going through that. It was like, man, I'm sorry. And like, what can I do to help you? Like, what can I offer in this situation to help? So I think hope just kind of made it more like organized, let's say.
Thank you for sharing that. And it looks like you had no idea what it's going
I
to
still
become
don't.
or how long it's going to last. You still don't. I wonder, what is it that makes you act when someone shares that they're going through something? Because there are many people going through difficult times, challenging times, suffering in the world. And sometimes they share about that suffering with others. And while others can maybe sympathize with them, there are very few people who would actually really understand that pain and go, what can I do for you? So what is it about you? Where does it come from? This almost obligation to act.
I think it's so many things. Like it's not really one thing, and that's why not so many people do it. Maybe because it's not about just having one part of it. Like one of it is obviously a blessing because that's just how my heart operates, and that I really believe your soul and your heart. That's a gift from God. So that's one, a blessing. Two, I have been in very similar situations as these people that I talk to. You're a single mom. You're going through a rough time. Guess what? I'm also a single mom. I've also gone through a rough time. You're somebody who's gone through a divorce and you're alone with three kids. I can relate to that. I've also gone through a divorce and had that kind of feeling of what do I do and how do I rebuild my life. Are you a family trying to build yourself? I can empathize with that. I have a child also, and I would like to give to my child. So when I'm listening to someone's story, like it's a difference when someone's telling you a story like, oh, there's somebody and they're not well, you feel so bad you want to help, but you're limited. You send a prayer and you wish well for them. But when someone's telling you, listen, like I have a situation, like my child needs diapers and formula, like that is something I can 1000% do, and that I think the key thing is the choice. Like we all have that choice. Like I'm not any special to anybody, but I think for me, I just, honest to God, I'm not like Mother Teresa or like, I sometimes I feel like people think like, when you do this, you're like something. No, no, no. I'm a regular, person with emotions, and I get angry and upset and everything, and worrisome and all that. But the difference is I always think to myself, Abby, if that was you, what would you want someone to do? And I just try to do, honestly, I imply not more, not less, just what I would appreciate and want someone to do. So, and also it's almost kind of like once you start doing it, you can't stop because it's like you don't have a choice. It's not like a part-time thing. It's not something that we do. Sometimes it's literally a 24-hour a day machine. Best way to put
It
it.
is someone's lived reality.
Yeah. Every day and every day. And as I said to you, I mean, I can't believe we're getting to our 6-year mark. And I'm still not immune to the stories. Like, I still cry as I answer emails. My heart is heavy when I'm listening to voice notes. Like there's moments where we get asked for a lot of kind of help that's kind of out of our scope and things that we can't really help with, right? And it kills me when I have to write and say, like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's not something, we can help with. Like, it's not easy at all, but it is rewarding, and the reward is when you see the mom in front of you and I mean, you follow us on Instagram. I try my best to post when the families receive the item because I think it's important to see like this. These are real people. This isn't like just, hey, help us, and then you don't know where it goes. You see firsthand. I've had people message me and be like, oh my God, I saw my son's, scooter. Oh my God, I saw my daughter's doll. Oh my God, I saw my kid's clothes. Like, it is a really nice feeling when you read, how they always write the caption about like how grateful they are to receive the items.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing these stories on your Instagram page as well, because you can really feel the emotions from those pictures and
Mm-hmm.
videos that you put out. Brings me to the question, when anyone is looking at Dubai from the outside or the UAE, it almost never occurs to them that there may be some people who are in this dire need of help, because you would imagine almost everyone has a job over here. People are here because they have a job, there's insurance, all of that. So I wonder, who are these people? What are their circumstances?
Oh my goodness. It's funny. I actually like, made like the other day we talked about that on our social media that it's really not, there's no one case that looks the same. It's the single mom who's doing everything on her own and just needs somebody to like be there for her. It's the families that come here and they have a plan and they sell everything back home for a better future for them and their kids. And then they come here and there's so many factors of why things fall apart for them. There's families that are here and then if the father's job or, the breadwinner in the home's job is a certain amount, which is already, let's say, like, a small wage, and then they lose their job or, something happens in their employment and they can't work anymore, there isn't like a safety blanket to go back on, and most times these families here are also breadwinners or helpers for their family members back home, as little as they have. And also it can happen to anyone. You know what the funny thing is? I think there's a very big stereotype that like, oh, you only need help if you're like from a certain country or, something of that sort. And that is not true because trials and tribulations, they know everybody's address. You know what I mean? They know, like, not anyone's immune to those. So I've had families where the father was a pilot and he's lost his job. This was COVID time, and the amount of spending was way, their cost of, living their lives monthly was way beyond what they can now
Mm.
afford. And they were in need of diapers. Like, need doesn't have a look or a class or ethnicity or religion, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, anyone can at any point in their life, like, be in need. So it's really anybody. Like, you saw, like, the other day there was somebody here, the circumstances, they couldn't fly back home. They ended up going into labor, having the child instead of a natural birth. It ended up having to be a cesarean, and now they have these costs at the hospital that was not they are not prepared for. And they'll message us and say, can we help us with diapers and formula just to get us by. Like, so it's so many people. It's everyone and anyone that's in need. That's who we help.
That's true. That's true. Really, trials and tribulations know everyone's address.
Mhm.
Thank you for creating that space, Abby, to help people in such circumstances. I want to go back to the day you created the Facebook group and what followed, and where are you today?
Girl, first of all, please know, and I always say this, and it's the truth. We have no plan. There is never a plan. Like, this is kind of like we just get up every day and we're like, let's try to help somebody, right? And we made the Facebook page, and the Facebook page grew to over 10,000 members. And then after the first year, the Facebook page got hacked and deleted. So,
Oh,
yeah, I don't even know
you've
if I've
had
ever
that
shared
too.
that story. I don't even know if I've ever even talked about it, but it got hacked, and that was I was on, that was I maybe it was like 2 years afterwards, actually, because I remember it was like maybe 2022. Me and the family were away on vacation, finally, can you imagine to be able to travel? And I was, like, so proud of Hope, and then while on the trip, the page got deleted, hacked and deleted. So here I was, like, imagine 2 years of, like, work, right? And at that time, the only means of, like, anything that we had, everything kind of ran through the Facebook page, right? It was actually a Facebook group, not like
Mm.
a page. And I just remember, like, okay, well, I cried and I felt sorry for myself for like weeks while on vacation. And then I just remember thinking, like, okay, I have two options here, right? I can, like, okay, like, is this a sign? Like, okay, it's gone, and, like, let me just move on with my life. And, that was a nice run and I'll always have that memory. Or do I start from the beginning? Like, do you know how hard it is for a girl on the internet to ask people for diapers and formula? Like, one, it's not something you see every single day. And two, like, people have such a hard time trusting that even if you are asking for their used kids' clothes, they're, like, suspicious of it. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So I was just like, I got to start from the beginning. And then we made a new, so actually, when we first started, it was called Hope UAE. Then when we had to make the second, like, group, because Hope had already, like, been taken, like, it was in that, like, meta system, we named it Hope Amel UAE.
What does adding Amal do to the name? What is the rationale behind Amal out of any other
Well,
word?
first of all, on a sentimental value, it's my mom's name, right? And my dream was always to open or run or create a group that helps moms and women, because my mom lived in Canada. I think she can relate to a lot of the expat women here, right? Like, you go to a country, you don't know English, you're, like, taking like, care of the kids, like, like a support network. So my mom's name is Amal, so that's actually how this whole Hope name, and Amal is just the Arabic word for hope. So then we just added it on. And
Correct.
actually, I'm so happy that we did, because it captures kind of like really what a hope really is. But now it's funny because people will always, message and they'll be like, "Oh, hi, Hope Amal." And it's like every time I read my mom's name, it's just a really surreal feeling.
How beautiful to honor your mother in that way.
Mm.
You touch upon the lives of many people, many families, many mothers in particular. I am curious to know how many people have you supported so far through Hope Amal?
I mean, honestly, as of last year, it was probably like way over 25,000 people. I mean, we're probably close. I mean, just this Ramadan, we helped, just over 1,000 families in that 1 month just for the Ramadan initiative. So I would probably say like anywhere in the things of like up towards of 30,000. But I swear to you, we really, that is like an insignificant, like it's only like at certain points when we sit down and we're like, oh my God, like how has this happened? Like how did this, because we really, when I tell you, we wake up every day and it's like, okay, what can we do today to help the people? Like Evelyn's like, I'm gonna be packing the packages. I'm like, okay, I gotta get diapers for the group. Like we each have a mission every day. You know, Evelyn's like today, she's in the living room sorting all the clothes that we've got donated, right? And she's sorting them into things. I like so every day, her and I equally are doing something to like better the group so that we're in a better position to help the families. And then we really just had our motto with just put your head down, do the work, and just keep doing it. Like we so then one day you look up and you're like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe that we have done this." It is kinda crazy when you think
This
about
is
it.
amazing. And you said you don't have a plan for where this is going, and it's just really
Yeah.
effort just compounds. And I'm contrasting this with all this almost obsession with having a plan, knowing what you're doing next. What are you going to be? What is your initiative going to be in 2 years and 3 years and 5 years? And then also having a plan B, plan C, plan D, the next zip
Mhm.
plan, everything in order, right? And what you're saying is almost like a breath of fresh air. You just have a daily purpose, really, and you get to it. And when you look back, it is compounding.
I mean, like, I mean, of course, my goal, like, of course, you know, everyone has a goal when they're doing something, or like it all starts from a vision of the end game, right? Of what you
Yeah.
see it can be, and then you just work your way every single day. I knew no matter what happened, it was a win-win. Okay, if Hope became and grew and became something amazing, but even in the interim, it's not a fail because I'm doing what I want to do, which is help people. So by just doing that, being genuine, being very transparent, you know, I mean, this isn't a group that's run by like a team. Like the team is me and Evelyn. Yes, of course, we have amazing volunteers and we have people that come in and out and help us, but the soul and the heart and the day to day and the worry and the responsibility and the caring and the like everything that goes into it is definitely me and Evelyn. So, you know, when you're dealing with it, it's like I have my word, right? Like it's integrity. Like when you trust me and you call me and you want to give me your baby's precious items, you know, and you want me to give it, I take that very seriously. Like first of all, I'm so grateful that you would love to help my little group. And second of all, I think I want that person to be encouraged to always give. So the best way to do that is to give them the best experience when they come with Hope so that when they think about giving, when they think about helping, they have like warm, fuzzy feelings about it. You know, they remember that. Whether it's one day helping an animal shelter or a labor camp or an international organization, I want them to have a good memory because I always hear so many bad memories of people, you know, helping and doing things that it didn't go the way. First of all, you shouldn't have an expectation, but
Mm,
I want them to see, like, listen, it matters when you care and it matters when you help because look at this mom right
yeah.
here. And you see all of the posts that I put. It's always a different
Yeah.
story.
I love that you're thinking of the giver's experience and the receiver's experience at the same time. And it is
Yeah.
important because once you give and you actually see where it is landing, you kind of see it full cycle, and it
Yeah.
encourages you to give more. That's true, and also have this connection with the initiative or the support group that you have built. You talked about enjoying the process and knowing that you're doing what you want to do, and I love that because it's not about an end goal. It's not about a number that you're reaching. It's about really being in it for the journey. And that's also a great reminder for anyone listening in. As far as you enjoy the journey, as long as you're
Oh,
willingly and energetically putting the hours in.
listen, I'm telling you, every single night, as God is my witness, I have the same combo with God where I'm like, God, I don't know like how this landed on my like life path, or I don't know how me and Evelyn got this. I like uh, every day, like as much as is a blessing to the families that get help and all of that, but it's also for us to be a part of it. So for me, I'm like, even if God gave me a day of this, a day of helping people, like, you know, in Islam, like I am very spiritual and I really do tie a lot of what we do to God because if you're in it, you know that this is not you. There's no way, like, I don't have some magical powers that I can go online and be like, I need diapers. And then people all over the UAE will come across my video and go on a Amazon wish list and buy me, like, do you know, if I had that power, I'd do it for selfishly for myself in a way, like, God, give me this or give me that, right? But you see, I know I'm like, this is God, like somewhere this is all people, whoever is getting these items, they're praying, they're sitting that right now as we speak, there is a mom in her home saying, God, I don't know what to do. I don't have enough money. How am I going to get the diapers? How am I going to get the formula? And somehow she finds hope, and God somewhere gets a hope giver to donate, and that comes here, and I put in a package and I send it to them. So for us, it's really important that like everyone, because it's a community on all parts, because the hope recipient, I would also like them to be, and I always say to them, look, inshallah, one day when you are in a position, if you're ever in a position to help someone, please do. And you know what's so beautiful? Like, and I really am proud of this. And maybe I don't talk a lot about it on social media because our focus is always trying to get the help for the families. But do you know how many women we have helped over these last how many years? And they will message me and say, oh, ma'am, Abby, I just want you to know my neighbor, this lady, she's going through this. She doesn't have that. So, I thought about you, and, our situation is not that much better, but alhamdulillah. So I want you to know that we bought her like some diaper and formula and we gave it to her. Or like someone will come, like say, we have that, we've created this thing where people really genuinely want to help, because when they become a recipient of it, they know how much that means to them. And then they try to put it out. So like, there is a constant wave of like just positive, good energy coming out of hope.
Abby, I want to ask you, 30,000 individuals or families helped. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I swear to God, wallah, I don't think about that because I'm not, because there's so many families in my inbox still waiting for help. You know what I mean? So I'm not like there's look, I'll tell you an amazing story so you can really, this will probably put it into like best. A couple of weeks ago, I found out about a father. Okay, the father's salary is very, very low. It's 4,000. His rent is 3,300. He has two children, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. The 2-year-old has Down syndrome and it has leukemia. Okay.
Oh.
I mean, just the heaviness of just what I said, and we're not even involved in the story, you know? And I remember thinking like, "Oh my god, like this poor man, like I can't even imagine like what he's having to endure." There's so many complications also with his son's diagnosis, and there's special protocols that are needed. And I thought, we're going to try to help him. So, without going too much detail, we ended up the group of us, like our WhatsApp volunteer group is really like a group of angels, and I really believe God brings like-hearted people together. So we all were able to like come together and help this man. And I remember that morning thinking like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy. Like, wow, like we really helped this man. This is absolutely like wow, I'm literally on cloud 9." And literally within 45 minutes of that, me thinking that and being so relaxed and happy, I got a message from a mom in need, and her listening to her voice note and the pain that she is in and the crying, and just I can feel it from the depths of my soul. I didn't have time, like, it was like, "Oh my god, okay, we gotta help this lady now, we gotta help this person, and we gotta help." So, we don't have this luxury of, like, sitting in it and, like, what like, it's literally like an hour. Like an hour, we get happy. Even Ramadan, like, Ramadan, it was so big, it's such a big initiative, and it's, like, nonstop and morning and night, and the boxes, and the volunteers, and the families, and everything, that by the time it's done, we that's why, when the people take the pictures in our volunteer group and they send it, like, that's when I actually like, "Oh my god, look what we did." Like, "Oh my god, like, look at these families." Because when you're in it, I swear to you, you're, like, literally just trying to, like, help the family in front of you. So, maybe that's a blessing because I thought maybe if you just thought about all the good you did, you just I don't know, maybe that's a
It
blessing that
humbles
we don't.
you
Yeah,
to
'cause you
be on a
forget
roll.
even. Yeah, I swear to you, sometimes people message me and I totally forgot that I've helped them. Like they're not it's not even in my radar. And then I tell everyone, I'm like, helping people is like childbirth, okay? God makes you forget it. You know what I mean? And then you keep doing it, so you never keep tally. So you never can say I've done enough.
That's true. You have a beautiful heart, Abby. I
Thank you.
am curious to know what were the times in these last 6 years, wow, 6 years now, where you felt this is not going ahead, or you felt
Like
this is
5
it.
minutes
How,
ago.
how could it possibly grow from here?
Girl, I probably think that like at least 2 times a day, and I'm not even joking, okay? I can't tell you, like, sometimes, like, I'm constantly like it's such an up and down and emotional type of work, right? And we're limited on what we can do and how we can help. And it's a big responsibility. Like I cannot sleep when I read an email and a mom is telling me about her situation and she's in need of, like, we're not like talking like houses here. You know what I mean? We're not talking about like first class vacation packages. We're talking about a pack of diapers and a can. I refuse to believe that not one person in a community of thousands is able to help that. Even if each of us put in one fills, like, I don't even know if that even exists. We are able to help these families. So for me, it's like that can be also very daunting, right? Because you're like, oh my God, like I have to help this lady. Like she has nobody. Like, where do I get the stuff? There's a lot of times we don't have the stuff. There's a lot of time I don't have diapers. I don't have certain sizes. I don't have formula. I don't have clothes. We're always in the don't have. Like you will never see, like there's never been a day in the 6 years where I'm like, oh my God, we have way too many. This is so much stuff. I can't even, no, it's always like, we need more, we need more, we need more. And, I constantly, every day, I'll have like a breakdown and I'll spiral and I'll be like, I can't do this. Like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, who am I to do this? I'm one person. It's hundreds of people. I'm working a full time job. I have my son who's going to like university in a year. I have family. I have responsibilities. What about my own life? What about this? It's such a like tornado of emotions that I go through every single day. Cause there'll be days where we get promised things and people will call us and they'll want to work with us and think and like we're such a small group that if anyone offers us like one thing, our hopes like get so high. And then it's like things don't work out. And so for me, I've just become so resilient. And I'll be very honest with you. A year ago, I was like, okay, God, I'm going to put this in your hands, hasbi Allah. Like, you are in charge of this. You are the best planner. This is all you. Uh, So I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. I am going to give you full control about this and I'm just going to let go. And whatever you want, I'm okay. And I swear to God, Wallah al azim, like anyone that knows me or has been in the story this last year will tell you every day God lets me know, yes, I do have these mental breakdowns and scared and worry and I cry and I don't know and I spiral and it's the whole series, like add whatever emotion you want. God is so generous with me, okay, that instantly within a few hours, maximum 24 hours, he will send me a sign that it's only between him and I because it was a worry that I was so scared to even say it out loud that it was literally a whisper in my heart. He knows about it. So when I see it in front of me, it's like, oh, okay. God's like, come on, girl, can't do this every day. Like every day I have to remind you that you're gonna be okay. But I need that, and because it gets. Listen, I don't know. Like you have dreams and you wonder and you think, and it's a lot sometimes. But at the end of the day, I'm always like, okay, what would I rather have? Would I rather not have this? Like, would I rather not have any of this and maybe like once in a while, like mysteriously, anonymously be able to help somebody here and there? Because even being the face of hope, it is so, I swear to God, it's so cringe to me. Like, I just want to be in the back. I don't want anyone to know, but nobody's going to give diapers and formula to like a screen, I need to show these people I am the
Yeah,
ambassador and the lawyer of these families. When they come and they come to Hope, they're coming to me to speak their stories.
true.
And like I'm an Iraqi Canadian 44-year-old lady who's living with my son in Dubai. I have an amazing job. I have amazing family. I have an amazing group of human beings around me. I think the least I can do is like use that whatever I have and I think for me, everyone has like that special thing about them. Like I don't know, everyone has it. Like even horrible human beings have that one amazing thing about them. And I think for me is I just have a special thing with people. Like when I talk to them, I feel like they can see my heart and I can see their heart.
Mm. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's true. I
In
really
the
feel like that.
stories, in the stories of these daily struggles of, is it gonna go on? Is this
Yeah.
it? Walk me through one moment or one story which really moved you.
Oh my God, there's so many. There are so many. I mean, uh, girl, every like week I have a story that moves me. I'm constantly crying. I think the thing that moves me the most, maybe it's not about the story, but it's about the common thing that I know that that makes the story special, right? And it's like a moment where a mom will come to me or a family and their case will be something that's really like unusual, right? Or something that's kind of out of the scope of what we do. Or like I really know in my heart, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna get the help for these people. Like it goes beyond the diapers and the formula, whatever the case may be. And this has happened so many times, okay, like a zillion times, where the particular help, it can't just come from anyone. Like either, for example, this person is like in a certain emirate, you know what I mean? So the help
Mm,
has to be specific to be around them. Either the thing that they need is so like like it's not just something like a normal thing, it's such a random thing. Or the amount of money. Like I've had cases where people have like message and they've needed something like really, really urgently. Like, I mean, even a simple thing, like I've had someone be like, hi, my mom lives with us. She's an elderly lady. She's had surgery. We need a wheelchair. We really can't afford it. Like, we don't do wheelchairs. We're like a group of like diapers and formula. And I'll be like, I'm really sorry. Like, I don't have that. And then, wallah al alim, like, within a couple of days, I will get a message and it'll say, hi, Abby, how are you? I have this brand new wheelchair. Do you know anyone that would need it? That's like a sliver of the stories, That's like a C rating. Like there's B, there's A, there's like things that have happened where I'm like, oh wow, God listened to this lady 1,000% because this could not have come from just anywhere. And it's reinforced the belief that whatever is written for you, you will always get it. Like, so yeah,
yeah,
there's so many stories and they're so different and they're so amazing and they're so beautiful because all of them ends with hope being restored,
I
you
love
know?
that. And I love how you have created hope into a vessel through which blessings
Yes.
flow, really. I I wonder if there was a time where you had all of these families to help and you felt that it was just not possible to kind of commit to fulfill that commitment. Did that ever happen with you?
No. No, honestly, we've had those times where we're like, "Oh my god, our inbox is full of," especially more so in the early days, you know what I mean? Because nobody really knew about us, like, it was very
Mm,
hard to get the help, and it would be moments where we'd be like, "Okay, we have 50 families, we have 100 families, and we don't have any diapers, we don't have any formula," and I swear to you, the next day, somebody would randomly send, like, I don't know, 50 boxes of diapers, like randomly to us. You know what I mean? A situation like that. So it's never gotten to that point where like we can't help
yeah.
because listen, I have my theory is if somebody came to hope, God has guided them there. He is not going to bring someone to email us for us to tell them we cannot help you. I mean, of course, within reason, you know what I mean? And we can't help with things such as payments, fees, things like that. But if it's the things that we can help with, I just don't think, I don't know, like God is so just and he's Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, girl. He's not gonna make someone come and email and tell their life story and open their heart and ask for help. And you know what I mean? You know how hard that is to ask for help? That does something to you as a human, like, when you have to say it, especially when it comes to your children. It's hard.
Absolutely. And I have seen the emails that you share, of course, the anonymous versions of people asking for help. It's difficult. It's difficult to say, I don't know where that next formula can is going to come from, or the next box of diapers. And I'm sure that they feel safe in what you have created and Hope. They feel
Mm.
safe to email that. So thank you for creating that container, really. Any goosebump moment that really stayed with you?
Oh my God, there's so many. I mean, there's so many. Like, there's just so many. I think maybe like this Ramadan, right? We had somebody who, listen, before every Ramadan, before we go in, it's not like who those who follow us know. Like I'm always having anxiety, because it's like, oh my God, I have to get these boxes for these families. It's a lot of, that goes into it. And there's so many families that rely on the boxes, but I have no guarantee of how many boxes I can get. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really in God's hands. And this year, and usually when people do purchase the boxes, they will always inform me. They'll say, "Hey, Abby, I got like, 5 boxes. I've gotten 10 boxes." And especially when it's big quantity of boxes, like the person will definitely, at least to make sure that we've received them, that we know about it. This Ramadan, I don't want to go too much into the details because I really want to respect this. Because the only thing I have of this man is his email address, okay, and his name, right? Other than that, I have no details. But this person, I'll just say like they donated like 100 boxes a week for the whole month. Like every week he would make a donation of 100 boxes. Like not 10, not 20, 100 boxes. Like listen, it's one thing when you do it one week, it's one thing when you do it a second week, it's one thing when you do it a third week and a fourth week. And not once did you ever like contact me or like let me know or message me or post about it or talk about it. I swear I think about that man every single day since that happened. Do you know that? Because I think, like, first of all, you must be an angel. I'm convinced that this man is an angel because in a world where everyone wants recognition and does things just to look good, I thought like this man is not giving like one box. He has every right to send a message and say, "Hey, by the way, I've contributed 100 boxes. Did you receive them? What happened to them? Where did they go?" Like,
Mm.
anything of that sort. But that never happened. And I do have, I mean, obviously his contact details because, when he's contributing to the boxes. And I've thought about it so many times, like, should I message him and say thank you? Because I really just want him to know that, like, it's so much more than the boxes. Like, I don't know, it did something more, I think, spiritually and just in my own faith. It
Mm.
just brought me to another layer because I see things done all the time, but a lot of it, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of the things are always done with, like, also the need to be seen doing it. Where this man who gave more and did more than so many people, not that it's like a competition, 'cause it's always about the intention, but I'm saying like he just did it in the background,
The
quietly.
quiet goodness. Yeah.
And I've thought about emailing him just to say, "Man, like, thank you, sir, whoever you are, you my angel, like, you helped us this Ramadan because of you, like, do you look at how many families got boxes?" But I respect that, like, I'm like, "No," because, in Islam, giving is such a personal, private thing. You're doing it for God, so only you and God should know about it. So yes, he's done that, but maybe he doesn't even that is too much for me to even message him because he doesn't even want to be acknowledged for it. Does that make sense what I'm saying, or is it sounding like,
It
you
is it
know?
is beautiful. And I get it. There's a part of you that just really wants to reach out and thank him for his generosity. And at the
Yes,
same time, you want
yes.
to respect that he didn't want to engage in
Yeah.
that.
And I think that's what makes the act so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know, it humbled me. I just thought, oh man, what an incredible human being. So, stories like this, I swear to you, like this is look, being in this, it really makes you such an aware person, right? Aware of your own behavior, aware of other people's behavior, aware of like, what people value, what people care about. So it makes you always want to do the best thing. And being in this group, I get to witness different levels of all of that. It makes me see like, oh wow, like I'd love to be like that, or oh wow, like I thank God I'm not like that, you know? So for me,
Yeah.
I tell everyone, I'm like, when you work in anything, when it's like something that's led by God, so like a charity organized, like something that is really beyond what you can do, because this is not for profit. I'm not selling something. I'm not making money here. We're not, this isn't like a business where I have a plan. You either get a service or you get the, you're literally, people just have to come from the goodness of their heart to help me live this dream of helping people. So
Mm.
it's such a spiritual and like thing where your faith is tested, your belief in God, and when you see an individual like this, mashallah, that comes and does something like this so beautiful and just goes into the shadow and nobody even knows him, it makes you think I could do better.
I see that through hope, of course, you have brought so much joy to others around you in the circle of hope. But as I'm hearing you talk about how it has changed you, I'm realizing it has really been a transformational journey for you too.
Oh, a hundred
You talk
percent.
about awareness to just more aware, your faith was tested, your so many things in life were tested. How else did it change you personally?
Oh my God, my patience, right? Because you have to have a lot of patience when, because you're dealing with so many different people, and also being patient when it's not easy when you're dealing with hundreds of people sometimes on a daily
Mm.
basis, and you have a million things going on. It's that's definitely that. I think it really taught me to be resilient. Like I just feel like, I don't know, if I can do this, I can do anything. Like that's kind of my thought, because this was nothing. This was an idea. And you know what? I think it also made me really, I don't want to say this is a thing, but I think it made me proud, because I've never been a follower my whole life. I've never listened. I've never followed anyone. If I felt something, if I wanted something, if I believed in something, even if the whole world was like, "You're wrong, Abby," I'm like, "Okay, that's great. I'm not gonna change." Like I've never been someone to like back down from what I believe. And I remember when I started Hope, I can't even tell you. I don't think one single individual ever like applauded, like, encouraged me, told me this is a great idea. Actually, it was like, why are you doing this? This is a horrible idea. Like, why everyone was so negative about it, right? Everyone, like,
Mm.
imagine, or either they didn't even care, like, nobody, gave wind to it. Like, that's why it's funny now after all these years, people are like, oh, wow, like, look at Hope. But it's like, no, it's always been like that. You just didn't see it when in the beginning when, I had this crazy idea. So, it takes a lot for someone to hear such negativity all around you and still believe in something with your whole heart and
So it
still
is the
work
belief
towards
that
it.
kept you going.
Yeah, the belief in myself, the belief in God, the belief in the mission. Because look, I don't know, I'm not a scholar, but I just cannot imagine that when you do good, of any kind of good, that it's an energy that is going to go into the world and it will come back not only to you, but more goodness will come from it. So I think, and likewise, if you're doing something bad or something evil, or even if I was doing this but my intentions were like corrupt, or I'm doing this for like, I don't know. I don't know why anyone would do this for anything other than wine do it, because it is not an easy road at all. But it just makes you be like, okay, one, like, wow, I can't believe this. Like, I'm really proud of myself. Like, if I can do this and make it like, honestly, like, it's like a little functioning business that's run by two ladies. Well, I mean, I don't even know how that's possible. It's funny because when I talk to people, they're like, "Wow, like, what you and your team," and me and Evelyn always laugh. I'm like, I think that's a really good thing that people think we have a team, because it says again about the level of operation that we run here. But it makes you self-resilient, it makes you have faith, and it makes you so grateful. It makes you so grateful. How can you complain? Like, how can I ever think? That's why, which is also a bad thing, because it really makes you have zero tolerance for anybody that.
Mm.
So it's a double-edged sword, because you're so grateful. You're like, thank you. Like I was telling my friend this morning on the phone, I said, girl, last night I got in bed after Fajr, and I remember thinking like, wow, this bed is so comfortable. Like I love my bed. And I remember being like, God, I'm so grateful. Like, I'm grateful for this bed. I'm grateful for this duvet. I'm grateful for this pillow. And she started laughing. I was like, no, because I see pictures of families all the time. They don't have a bed. Their kids are sleeping on the floor. They don't have a blanket. They don't. I know I think it's silly, but I think when you listen to what is happening, in it humbles you and it makes you grateful and it makes you just Appreciate everything. I don't know if I would have the same level of gratitude or appreciation if Hope wasn't in my life.
Mm. Wow, this has been a really enriching experience for you. And I know from the people who volunteer with you as well, it is an enriching experience for anyone who comes in contact with another person through Hope. Um, I can't stop thinking about you being a single mom, having a corporate job, and running this. Because I have seen you in the
Yeah.
warehouse, sorting boxes with your full administrative hat on. I have seen the paperwork that goes to volunteers. I have seen the social media management
Yeah.
it takes. How are you doing this with a full time role and as a single mom?
I don't know. I just first of all, disclaimer, I am a Capricorn, so I do the best in like in these kind of pressure environments. Like I thrive in these kind of like in the chaos is where I like really excel. And I don't know, I love it so much. Like I just don't think about it. I don't think about the work. I don't think about the weekends. I don't think about like for example, tomorrow it's Friday, in the afternoon, we're gonna have to go get items from a storage room, go to our other storage room, spend a couple of hours there. Like, you know, I don't think about like, oh, I have to do that. I think about like, oh, okay, like alhamdulillah, I get to do that. Like I never like everything that I have every single day for Hope is things that I prayed for. All the things that I'm praying for now to happen are gonna happen in a year or in 2 years or in 3 years' time. So I'm very mindful that one, I prayed for all of this. I prayed for Hope to be successful. I prayed to get items. I used to pray for diapers. I used to pray. Like the other day, you know how we made that post and mashallah, like it really went. I hate the word viral, but it like we got the most views that we ever got in our whole entire life of 6 years of being on social media. And the response has been fantastic. And people have been sending us diapers and formula. And on Saturday, we were sorting and, going through everything. And I remember like at one point being like, oh my God. I literally used to, me and Evelyn, our first 2 years, we would joke all the time. We'd be like, one day we're going to get so many diapers and formula. We're going to have like every kind of diaper, every kind of brand. You want diaper cream? I have it. You want shampoo? There's a million of them. Whatever you want. And we would laugh about it, right? And in that moment, me and her like kind of had this thing where we were like, oh my God, this is that moment. Like this is really happening. And so I think being aware of that, it kind of just it pushes you through. I don't know, like imagine you prayed for something and then it happened. Is that going to slow you down or is that going to motivate you to keep going?
Yeah, you are living in a prayer and praying for more at all times.
Inshallah.
I love that. Thank you so much, Abby, for sharing these really touching stories of how you help through Hope, how there are there's so many people who want to help and how there's so many people who would love to receive that help. You talked about the Ramadan boxes. I just want to ask about what are the different ways in which you're helping people? So you mentioned diapers and formula, you mentioned Ramadan boxes. What are the other sub initiatives within Hope Amal?
Well, the primary like help that we do give is for baby and children's support. So that's clothes, baby gear, diapers, formula. So it's care packages every single day between 15 and 20 or so packages leave my home filled with everything that a family can need, and it gets sent somewhere in the UAE. I think the number one way that we've been able to succeed, honestly, it's through awareness. So my number one thing would say, if somebody's watching this and the stories resonate with you and you feel like, oh my God, this is something cool that I'd love to be a part of. The first thing I say is please visit our Instagram page because that really is kind of like our all means of like communication. You get to see what we do. It's very live. It's very like it's not like something we do and then I post pictures after a month. Like every day we are working on Hope. For example, this month we have a great initiative. It's Meals of Meaning. And we're going to, every Saturday starting from the 11th, we're going to be giving out and upwards of 1,000 meals to families in Dubai, Sharjah, and Ajman. So we have the volunteers coming for that. And this is not a Ramadan box, it's an actual meal box. So a meal for four with, all kind of like the whole full meal. So it's really beautiful that we get to send to like people and say, hey, your dinner's on us. So, we're evolving. So we have that. Of course, we have our back to school initiative where we provide backpacks and school supplies for children in August. Then we have our Christmas initiative, which is our toy drive that we have every single year. And then, of course, the Ramadan one. And we have our Eid one coming up also in May where we're going to give out toys and inshallah, brand new clothes to kids. So we're constantly helping, and I think that the most important thing, the message that I really would love to convey is that it's not enough anymore to be just somebody standing on the sidelines. Okay, like life is getting hard for everybody. We all feel it in some way or another, right? And if you can make it, like, if you, okay, you can't donate, I completely understand. You don't have time to volunteer, also got it. But if you're on social media, the least you can do is like, reshare, repost on your stories, because awareness is the only way. Because the more people that know about hope, the more items we get, the more people we can help. So I think people always think that, oh, it help has to come in like a monetary way or like use of time. It's not. We live in like 2026. You sharing, just again, that post that went viral that helped us get so many diapers and formula that we're like, everybody gets diapers. Like, you know what I mean? We're like so happy because we're never in this position, like ever. That only was possible because people looked at the video, they cared enough to take 2 seconds of their time and press the repost, press the share, post it on their stories. Never underestimate, like when you have a good intention, like only good can always come out of that. So, and not just for hope, anytime you see a small business, anytime you see any other small anytime you see somebody, even if they put a quote on social media or whatever, and it's to make the world a better place, you need to support them. So I would invite them to our Instagram page and then they can learn all about hope, the ways of getting involved. We also have a volunteer WhatsApp group where we're always putting initiatives on there, deliveries to families, special one-off cases, that also allow people to get more hands-on sort of opportunity with us.
Thank you. It's such an important reminder, Abby, that it doesn't always have to mean some monetary help. You can help in so many
Yeah.
other ways. It doesn't take any of your time or effort to reshare, to like something, to repost it. I know that the volunteering activities you have, they are amazing as well. So I would encourage everyone to also try and volunteer with deliveries, with packing, with whatever is needed. And it's so beautiful to be able to go to a family and give them something that they really need in that moment. Thank you for creating that space. And my last question is going to be about maybe for people who have their full time corporate jobs going on, they have a lot of ideas for doing good. And many times you just feel like, okay, but where am I going to get the time from? Or, oh, if it's not going to get so big, what's even the point? You have done it. You have done it as a single mom, as someone with a corporate job. What what message would you give to someone who is thinking about some good but hasn't yet acted on it because work comes in the way or it seems too small? What's even the point? What would you say?
I just I always think about that when people like, again, just do something, even something small. Don't be so hard on yourself. You don't have to have a plan. I swear to you, we never had a plan. I think about this every single day of my life. I think, what if I just decided it was too much work? I didn't want to do it. Thousands and thousands of families would have gone without the help that they need. And I'm just me and my nanny. I mean, I can never take all the credit. This is 100% Evelyn as well. My ride or die. But I think if you have a great intention, your heart is clean, it's in the right place, again, I don't want to always like refer this, but I really have to, in Islam, like in our belief, especially we believe like you put one foot forward and God will help you with the other foot. So as long as your intention is good and, just start anywhere. If you told me 6 years ago, listen, girl, you're gonna do this, it's gonna be really crazy, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be great, you're gonna have stuff, you're not gonna have stuff, it's gonna be a million things. But one day you're gonna be sitting and someone is gonna want to hear your story about it, like right now, and this could be you. If everyone just tried, I swear we'd have such a different world.
That is such a beautiful message. Is there anything else that you would like to share about Hope, about the work that you're doing, about how we can support, that you would like to add over here?
I think people just need to know the most important thing is that there are people struggling, whether they're in hope or not. Like people are going through a hard time, and I just think you should just people be a bit more mindful of their environment and people that they're around. And I think it's important. You don't have to like even if hope doesn't resonate with you, and baby and kids and diapers and stuff is like, oh, what is this? There are so many different organizations, amazing. In Dubai, we really have such a beautiful community of people are like when the community comes together, I have never seen anything more magical than, and I don't think anyone else does it like Dubai, because we're all a bunch of expats and we're all looking and longing for our own sense of community, and we created this one together. I think it's just you have to participate in a community if you want to be a part of a community.
True. Thank you so much, Abby. You have been up to such inspirational work, and you could have gotten all that help and delivered these things to people, but I see how you're really trying to create this community as well, right? And it does not go unnoticed at all.
No.
There is this important community aspect in what you do. So thank you for starting Hope Amal. Congratulations for coming this
Thank
far.
you.
And I hope that this only goes forward and upward,
Inshallah.
and more people are able to give and receive through hope.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. From your mouth to God's ears. I mean, that's what we pray for. And thank you for this opportunity because anytime I get to talk about hope, again, I don't want to sound like cliche, but really it is a blessing. And I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Abby's story is a powerful reminder that meaningful change doesn't always have to begin with big plans. Sometimes it begins with simply choosing to act. If this conversation resonated with you and you would like to learn more about Hope Amal or support their work, we will be sharing more in the description below. And if this story moved you, please consider subscribing and sharing this episode with others, because stories like these deserve to travel far. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to bringing you more stories of courage and kindness around us.